and at the end of the day, a point apiece just about right. Hello, good evening and a warm welcome to this special European edition of Scotsport. We've spread our net far and wide tonight to bring you action from Russia, Romania, Portugal, Italy and Wales. We follow Celtic's brave bid to overcome the powerful Dynamo Kiev. We've Derek Ferguson's sensational goal for Rangers against Boavista, and I just returned to Scotland with the story of Dundee United's mature performance against Craiova. Later on in the programme, we'll be taking a look at two of Europe's elite, Juventus and Real Madrid, who met tonight in the European Cup in Turin, with the Spanish champions one up. And also the only other European match being played in Britain tonight, Wrexham against Real Zaragoza of Spain. Whatever you do, don't miss that one. Well, as you can see, there's a lot of top football action to get into the next hour. So let's begin with the European Cup and the match between Dynamo Kiev and Celtic in the huge Republic Stadium. 1-1 from the first leg, and the Scottish champions well aware that the home side had lost just once at home in 21 years in Europe. Jock Brown describes the play.
So perhaps the toughest task to face Celtic in Europe for many, many years. Playing against the Russian champions in front of a vast crowd inside the Republic Stadium. Celtic playing in their changed strips of yellow tops and green shorts, the Russians in all white. And fortunately for Celtic perhaps is the fact that there's a running track around the playing pitch, which means that the crowd is some distance away from the Celtic players. So there are two significant changes in the Kiev lineup. They brought back their centre half and captain Sergei Baltasar, although he's left the captaincy for the moment with Damianenko, the number 5. And up front they've brought back Oleg Blokhin, perhaps the most famous player in Russia over the past decade or so. And that will make a significant difference up front for the Russians. And to counter that, Celtic have Danny McGrain at right back. A packed midfield with just 2 men up front, Johnston and McGee, who will be augmented of course by Brian McClair whenever the occasion permits. So McStay in trouble in midfield. See the white jerseys going forward, it's pace. And some tough tackling there by Martin McLeod. The whistle is gone, the free kick has been given to Dynamo Kiev. Besanov was the player fouled. So an early opportunity now for Dynamo Kiev to test Pat Bonner. There's Blokhin, number 11, who will perhaps be the player involved in this set piece. And you can see the respect being shown by the Celtic players. The referee, Mr. Horst Brumeyer from Austria, a very experienced official, number 1 in Austria. So the free kick to Dynamo. And a good save by Bonner. That was good goalkeeping with the pressure being applied, with the forward rushing in on top of him. So a fine save to boost the confidence of Pat Bonner. Yakovenko. Besanov takes over. Some good running by the Russians as they come forward. Interchanging positions very rapidly indeed. There's Besanov again. Good challenge initially by Aiken, scrambling the ball free. But still the problem is there for Celtic. And superb handling once again by Pat Bonner. Magnificent play by the Celtic goalkeeper as this ball was thundered in from the left, again with players closing in very rapidly indeed. What a fine piece of goalkeeping. There's Johnston. White playing it forward in the air. The challenge provided by McGee. Now here's Mo Johnston. Running it, Ball. Good play by Johnston. And forcing the hurried clearance by Kuznetsov to give Celtic yet another corner kick. And this indeed is an encouraging start from Celtic. Kuznetsov, the hard man in the centre of the Russian team. He plays normally just in front of the back four. Kamyanenko with the armband. Johnston beating the ball. Was he pushed? Appeals by Mark McGee to the Austrian referee that Johnston was pushed as the ball came across. And certainly there seemed to be some merit in that claim. Bestonov playing it forward. And some good defending again by White. So there's Yevtushenko becoming involved, the first time in the match. The Dynamo Kiev number 10 on the right side of midfield, but now switched play to the left. Free kick on the edge of the box, no question about that. Derek White. It was Bestonov who was sprinting through. And that was Russian play at its best. Bestonov racing past Derek White and the young defender pulls him down. No argument at all about the decision of referee Brumeyer. And here's a problem for Celtic. Five-man wall is lined up. And that'll have to be taken again. And a yellow card being shown. As though it's to Vasily Rats. That must be for some dissent, I think. So Rats is booked. It's very important indeed for Celtic to keep cool in this incredible atmosphere. But still a moment of danger to face. Pat Bonner is in excellent form, as we've seen so far, but could have a problem from this set piece. The wall is back to full 10 yards. And it's there, Bonner couldn't reach it. Blocking has done it for Dynamo Kiev. A magnificent free kick. Over the wall, Bonner couldn't reach it. And that is a free kick of the highest class from Oleg Blocking. 35 years old today and celebrating in the best possible style. And what a disaster that was for Celtic. Natasha, Kamyanenko. Here's Valtasha once again. Kuznetsov, Yakovenko. Losing possession now to Paul McStay for Celtic. McStay going all the way himself. And not a bad effort from the Celtic midfield player. He scored one or two fine goals from that sort of range, striding into the gap. Saw the opportunity opening up before him. Went forward at that with lots of power, but just about a couple of feet too high. There's Bestonov. Back to Kuznetsov. On the far side, Demyanenko. Valtasha. Kuznetsov again. Valtasha remains a spare man at the back at all times, allowing Kuznetsov to go forward and link up in midfield. And confident handling again by Bonner. The Celtic defence doing well, forcing the shot from long range from Bestonov. McGrain hurried into the pass. It's a loose one by Demyanenko. Grant asking a lot of Paul McStay, but he did well, reacted very quickly indeed to find McClair. With a chance for Celtic. And it comes back off the post. Paul McStay can scarcely believe it. Oh, what a blow for Celtic. Uncertainty in defence among the Russians, and the ball spiralled high in the air. Johnston's challenge. The clearance found its way to Paul McStay, and the first time shot beat Chanov and rebounded off the post. Shepard losing the race to Demyanenko, but here's Grant. Now Aiken, brought down at the corner of the box, no question about that. Two captains together, Demyanenko was the culprit. Now what can Celtic make of this? What a boost the goal before half-time would be. McStay and McLeod over the ball. Aiken has stayed right up in the thick of things. Trying to set up the shooting chance for McLeod, but the Russians were alive to that. Closing him down very quickly indeed. Offside flag up, is it? No, the ball is out for the throw on the far side. Johnston didn't keep it in. It's Tony Shepard.
Уважаемые зрители,
перед
матча состоится выступление сводного духового оркестра Киевского
White in trouble. Here's a problem. The defence is badly stretched, blocking, waiting for their pass to be released. The supporter rise, there's Bonner with the first stop. Celtic now getting men back in numbers, and that'll be a free kick, there's no doubt about that. A reckless challenge by McClair on Yakovenko right at the edge of the box. Well, one moment of slackness by Derek White and Celtic were exposed. It was Yevtushenko who carried the ball forward for Dynamo Kiev. And that really should have been the second goal, but Bonner did well initially and then the defenders got back, but here's a problem once again for Pat Bonner. Can Blockin do it again? Well, left that one to Yakovenko, and thankfully for Celtic his accuracy wasn't as good as his more illustrious colleague. A neat turn by Grant, but it looks as though the half-time whistle is gone. Yes, it's half-time in Kiev. Celtic trailing by 1-0, and the goal won to savour. The set piece from outside the box, a leg block in, took the kick left-footed, bent in over the wall beyond Pat Bonner. A superb goal, but Celtic acquitting themselves very well indeed. Hopes by no means dead. The half-time score in Kiev, Dynamo Kiev 1, Celtic 0. So Dynamo Kiev get the second half underway. By a 0-0 on the night and 2-1 in aggregate. Celtic facing the task of finding the net twice to qualify for the third round of the European Cup. And they certainly played well enough in that first half to give some hopes to their supporters. The very small contingent here in Kiev. So the Celtic bench looking anxiously out. This is a very important stage in the match. They need to get off to a quick start, and Pierce O'Leary is on for Celtic. Straight into the centre of the defence. So Celtic forced to make a change at half-time. Derek White has crossed over to left back. Murdo McLeod is pushed forward into midfield. Here's O'Leary for Celtic. Danny McGrain is the man he has replaced. Didn't notice him taking any knocks in the first half. And I would be a little bit surprised tactically if that had been a change brought about voluntarily, in the sense that the defender has replaced the defender, although it has allowed Murdo McLeod to push forward a little. But we'll see how the Celtic formation lines up. Only two men, of course, up in attack all the time for dynamo Kiev. Here's one of them. It's Blokhin coming inside, and well robbed by Roy Aitken. There's McLeod. McLeod driving forward again. Celtic not hoping to get him into some shooting positions. He has possession once more for Celtic. Here's Brian McClare, he's onside. And there's the equaliser! Mark McGee makes it one apiece. And that was a marvellous goal from Celtic. Well, what a start to the second half. They threatened this many times, but it was the influence of Rodney McLeod from midfield which made the difference. McClare's precise cross, McGee's perfect finish, and Chanov had no chance at all. Baltasha once again, sweeper for Dynamo Kiev. That's good play. Here's Yakovenko trying to get past Derek White. Good twisting and turning, but still White sticks to his task. And that should give the Celtic defence enough time to get back. And Pat Bonner once again. Well, what a match he's having tonight for Celtic. A good build-up on the right, Yakovenko getting across, the shot came in from Belanov, and Bonner was quickly down to his left. There's Mark McGee. Yakovenko making a challenge, and then taking possession from Baltasha. That's a fine pass, Bonner is out. And superb goalkeeping once again. Celtic defence was split, but Bonner coming out and chesting it to safety. O'Leary to Roy Aitken. O'Leary. Celtic now playing with three centre-backs effectively, Aitken, O'Leary and White. Blokhin and Belanov do their interchanging up front through the middle for Dynamo Kiev. Here's Brian McClare. Ball was there before Johnston. Here's Johnston again. Trying the hook shot on the turn, but off target on that occasion. So off goes Belanov, and the first Russian substitution. Belanov injured. Looks like Mikhailichenko coming on. Good turn by McGee, he's knocked down by Kuznetsov. Well, he's quite cynical, is Oleg Kuznetsov. Certainly not guilty of taking too many prisoners. McGee recovers, but his progress in that very dangerous position has been halted. And now the Russians have all the defenders back to face the free kick, which will be taken, I think, by Paul McStay. Chanov not entirely happy with his defence's positioning. There's Paul McStay. Fine ball. Celtic players queuing up at the far post, trying to get a clear strike at the ball. Rodney McLeod forcing it forward. Ball thumped it out. Yakovenko got it clear in at the end for Dynamo Kiev. There he goes forward again. Closed down well by Tony Shepherd. That's a great pass from Shepherd to McLeod. White inside. Well, a superb piece of skill over on the far touchline there by Tony Shepherd in a very tight corner, laying the ball inside. Oleg Blokhin has 106 caps for Russia, scored last week against Norway. So a foul on Tony Shepherd. Free kick to Celtic. 20 minutes of the match left, still one each in the Republic Stadium, two each on aggregate, and extra time now staring both these sides in the face, and that would represent a marvellous performance on its own for Celtic. Here's Demyanenko. I haven't seen too many of his charges up the left flank for Dynamo Kiev today, but no doubt he may have one or two left before the end. Vesenov playing it in. It's a casual header that from White. There's Yakovenko with a chance! And Bono had no answer at all. Superbly struck for Dynamo Kiev. A gap appearing, a delicate ball inside. A thunderous shot beyond Pat Bono. And Dynamo Kiev go ahead once again. There's Grant with a throw. Aiken has come forward. That's into space now for Paul McStay. So corner kick to Celtic. And he certainly couldn't fault these Celtic players for effort. They've battled right from the first whistle. They've played some excellent football. But they faced two marvellous strikes from the Russians for both goals. A hand was used, the appeals for a penalty kick from the Celtic players. The Austrian referee's not interested. Derek White looks indignant. Murdo McLeod continues to protest. Well, as the ball was thumped back into the box, it appeared to strike a Russian arm. And the Austrian referee doing Celtic no favour at all. There's an opportunity now for Celtic. With McLeod. Two men coming to meet him. One of them was Rats. Aiken urging on his team. Here's Tony Shepherd. Back to O'Leary. Well, that was intended for Roy Aiken, but it wasn't accurate enough. Aiken playing it in. Chance for Johnston. Just about his first glimpse of goal in the match. Shaking off Baltasar, and he holds his head now, Mo Johnston. It was a very difficult half chance he had. That's the kind he frequently puts away. The Celtic by no means dead. Coming forward once again with Paul McStay. Brought down by Rats. The referee allows play to go on. Johnston plays it inside. Grant helps it on to the far side to White. Here's Murdo McLeod heading for the byline. And that's well taken by Chanov. Fine goalkeeping. But certainly a grandstand finish now from Celtic. Can they make the breakthrough? By Ball. Ball gets it again. Yevtushenko playing it forward. Here's Mikhailchenko now. Half stopped by Aiken. The big striker still has possession. Aiken back in position. And the Celtic captain wins it again. We'll see his strength and stamina as he comes forward. Touching it back to McStay. Here's Peter Grant. Now Johnston. Gets support from Shepherd. Grant again. Scrambled away towards Shepherd once more. That's given away. It was intended for McStay. Mikhailchenko, the fresh pair of legs up front for Dynamo Kiev. Now stretching the Celtic defence. Chance for the third, this should clinch it. Yevtushenko set up by blocking. And that buries the Celtic hopes. Yevtushenko, the man who scored in the first leg at Celtic Park, cashes in on the vacant space in the Celtic defence. And that makes it 3-1 to Dynamo Kiev.
Yes, final score 3-1, 4-2 in aggregate, but no disgrace there for Celtic, who fought so hard for so long for so little. And I have the feeling that whoever beats Dynamo Kiev will win the European Cup. And that match from Russia takes us to our first break.
Wonderful start.